Hello and welcome to 10 for 10. It is a beautiful day to be alive because the New York Knicks are up 1-0 in the NBA Finals. By the way, I'm Griffin Haas. He's Brian Rudman. That takes precedence.
Yeah, Griff has his priorities set this week.
The Knicks continue to amaze. And they continue to, it seems like whenever they're doubted the most, or doubted at all, and their backs are against the wall, they just figure out ways to win. They beat the Spurs 105-95 Monday night. If you're watching this on Friday, Game 2 is tonight. And at 8:30, only on ABC.
There you go.
Shameless plug. 12 wins in a row for the New York Knicks in the NBA playoffs. Since they trailed Atlanta 2-1 in the opening round, which feels like a lifetime ago, they have not lost.
It's a while ago.
They have won 7 in a row on the road. They have won 7 in a row on the road by the way, that's one short of an NBA playoff record. The record is 8 by the 2001 Lakers. What is an NBA playoff record is they've won 7 road games by double digits in a row. And this is a game that you look at, and yes, they did win by double digits, but it was a game that they trailed by 14 in the third quarter. And there's so much to talk about with this team. I think it's what makes great teams is that there are so many different people that contributed to this win. And that's how it has to be a championship team. I heard Shaq say that yesterday. He knows a thing or two about winning a championship.
He is familiar with that.
But I think as the Knicks usually do, I think we'll start with Jalen Brunson.
Sure.
What a guy. What a guy this Jalen Brunson is. Again, we don't have to relitigate the history of Jalen Brunson in terms of or rehash and bring it up against in terms of how doubted he was to come here. And we've gone through the history of how he's turned this franchise around.
Yeah.
Then he gets into the NBA Finals, and he made his first 3, and then he was pretty bad in the first half.
Yeah.
Also because he got hit in the knee.
Yep.
And then he got massacred on the way to the rim.
Yeah.
No foul call, completely bodied, and then Luke Cornett stepped on his ankle.
Yeah, he got rolled up on pretty good.
He was stomped. He was actually stomped.
I guess rolled up on is not.
He wishes he was rolled up on. He was stepped on. Right in front of Scott Foster. He did nothing.
His foot was squashed.
And listen, we don't even have to go there because the Knicks won the game. The officiating, and I thought in the first half was wild. The Knicks got to the free throw line 3 times in the first half. The Spurs got to the free throw line 12 times. Yes, I remember the statistic off the top of my head because I was texting it to multiple people. And Jalen, it's not like they were like Jalen Brunson had another one where his jersey was pulled and then he was hit from behind during a layup. No call. Jalen Brunson. People call him a flopper, which he's clearly not. There's no star that gets actually less calls than he deserves, but that's for another day. Because of that, I think had something to do with it. He was not playing very well. He was not shooting very well. I think he was like 6 for 20 at some point. But then the fourth quarter starts.
His favorite time.
And Jalen Brunson in the fourth quarter, I mean, I saw a stat going into the game yesterday, didn't even include the game, and it was a chart that was like field goal percentage versus field goals points scored or field goals made in the clutch, and he was above Michael Jordan. Better field goal percentage, more made.
That's wow.
In the playoffs.
Wow. That's impressive.
He gets to the to the fourth quarter, and I mean, they call him Captain Clutch for a reason. He is the captain, and boy, is he clutch. 13 points in the fourth quarter on 5 of 9 shooting, including the game gets tied at 86.
Yeah.
And he goes on a personal 8-0 run to make it 94 to 86.
Yeah.
The Spurs then go on a run to take a 95-94 lead. Brunson with an offensive rebound on a tip out
Yeah.
Corner 3.
Yeah, that was huge.
Nails the corner 3. They go on 11-0 run and win the game.
Yeah.
You just run out of, for me, I just run out of verbs for Jalen Brunson and descriptors for, adjectives. I can't even get the words right. I'm out of adjectives, so I'm moving on to verbs.
We're moving on to descriptors.
Yeah. You just run out of things to say about him. I mean, I saw Emmanuel Acho, one of the great bad take guys out there on the internet, and I shouldn't even give it credit, but it is what it is. After the first quarter was like, see, basically saying Becky Hammon was right, like gets to the NBA Finals, and you can't have your 1A be this small because it gets physical and they can't handle it. I'm just begging you, everybody, in this take world that we live in, watch the whole game, especially when the guy's nickname is Captain Clutch, because then he does things like that and he makes you look stupid. It's just an asinine, ridiculous take. He's just so good. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing you can do. He picks the angles. He's making incredibly difficult shots, but he's doing it consistently in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's just, I was texting my brother, and I'm just like, he's not playing well through 3 quarters. We know he's going to show up in the fourth quarter. Just keep it close, and you know he's going to show up in the fourth quarter, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
What were your big... I have many, many more takeaways that I'm going to get to, but I will ask you what your biggest takeaway, maybe either to add on to Brunson or outside of Brunson. I'll give you the floor for a minute, and then I will talk for another 45 minutes.
And then you'll take it away. Yeah, well, I think, especially for Brunson, once again, similar to Game 1 of the Cavs series, the way that he responded to a little bit of a slow start was very impressive, because that's just what it's going to be. When you look at the Knicks' playoff path, they have been so impressive and so dominant, where there hasn't been a ton of adversity that they've had to deal with, but in order to win this series, they're going to have to deal with that. And I think they handle it really well, and Brunson in particular, the way that he kind of battled through that first half, kind of grinded his way through and then got it going late, was very important. I think, Landry Shamet, double digits off the bench, that's huge, because we've talked about how the depth is going to play a factor for this Knicks team.
Yeah.
I think overall was a little bit of a slower start than you would have liked in the first quarter. Cavs took an early lead. They were leading in the third, but I think obviously not as drastic as Game 1 against Cleveland, but the way that they handled being down and the way they've kind of, it's not all good, but they're still able to deal with it and then find a way to win it in the end is huge.
Well, to your point, the 2 times they have had to face adversity were this game and then the game they were down by 22 points.
Right.
And what do? You go to Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the best player outside of the fourth quarter last night was Karl Anthony Towns. And maybe even if you include the fourth quarter with Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns is the reason the Knicks won this game. Karl Anthony Towns is the reason that they were still in the game. Because when they were when they got down 14, it was Karl Anthony Towns who got the game tied, or brought them back to that point.
Sure.
Karl Anthony Towns has taken a lot of heat and from Knicks fans, and I think all Knicks fans are all, including myself, like, proved us wrong.
Sure.
Not only, more so the criticism was like, is he going to ever live up to his potential? Because it doesn't seem like maybe the buy-in is as there.
Yeah.
He doesn't maybe fit. Like, he might want too much offensively, and like it doesn't really fit into what we're doing. Doesn't play any defense for a period where it seemed like he just didn't play. He didn't live up to his potential on the defensive side of the ball. What Karl Anthony Towns has become on defense, I don't know how to describe it, because he was just D'ing up Victor Wembanyama. Yeah. He was D'ing up Wemby. And Wemby, scored 26 points, 12 of 13 at the free throw line.
Yeah, he was only 6 for 21 from the field.
6 of 21 for the field, and he had 6 turnovers. And Karl Anthony Towns was guarding him for a large part of that. Now, it also helps, I think, Mitchell Robinson, he can't play for as many minutes, 1, because you need a cat, and 2, because he's just, you want to limit him and not overwork him. I don't know if there's a person in the league who's better suited to guard Victor Wembanyama just because of his length, his ability to move at his size.
Yeah.
He was contesting threes. But Karl Anthony Towns, and then on offense, I thought Karl Anthony Towns might be able to kind of, bang around with Wemby inside because Wemby's so skinny.
Sure.
He was just running right by him. He was just running right by him to the basket. And here's the thing. In the Cleveland series, even though Jared Allen and Evan Mobley aren't the toughest dudes down low, if one of them was guarding Karl Anthony Towns and he got by him, you still have to get by now Jared Allen, say, inside.
Sure.
Or Evan Mobley, some length inside. The Spurs don't have that. So, like, if Karl Anthony Towns gets around Wemby, there's no one that's going to be on this floor at the same time as Wemby because they play Luke Kornet off the bench. There's no one in the game who's going to be able to contest him at the rim. You can't stop him when the 7-footer's going downhill. So to see how aggressive he was offensively, he had 4 assists, but they seemed to be very timely in that third quarter, finding the right guys. On both sides of the floor, he was outstanding. And again, they don't get into the position where Brunson can then finish if he doesn't help get them to that point. Now, the other guy you got to talk about, I'm going to talk about multiple, actually. We talked about Shamet, so we covered that. Josh Hart.
Yeah, he was good.
Had to be the best performance in NBA Finals history from a guy who scored 3 points.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, you say 3 points, you're like, well, why? He was 1 for 5 from the field, he was 0 for 3 from 3. It's like, oh. He had 15 rebounds, he had 6 assists, and he had 4 steals and a block. And again, the rebounding. I mean, this guy, I saw a meme, and it was like Karl Anthony Towns, it was like, oh, there's a rebound up in the air, and then it was Josh Hart, and it was Kurt Angle literally running and jumping off like the top ropes and like suplexing some guy because he does just come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like he runs in from 3-point land, and it looks like a Spur's about to grab it, and all of a sudden he's soaring through the air for the rebound.
Yeah.
He had one in particular like that on the baseline late in the game. He grabs it, stays in bounds, gets it out. Brunson resets, and Brunson scores.
Sure.
And again, continues their run at the end. He just does all the little things, and he's running in transition. The Spurs did a great job getting back in transition and limiting the Knicks' transition game. I mean, that's what Jalen Brunson said it because they played together for so long and they're such good friends. He was like, "This is who he always has been." I'm not surprised. Like, that's the guy, and you need those guys who do the little things. Yeah.
Well, the old kind of cliche is that defense wins championships, and it does, but it's really the little things where they don't always show up. Like 15 rebounds obviously shows up on the stat sheet, but it's
the impactfulness.
It's the
of
impactful.
The rebounds,
it's the having that come from your shooting guard who's then running the floor and playing good defense and just doing the little effort plays that, yes, it comes into effect on defense more often than on offense maybe, but having that guy who doesn't care if he's only scoring 3 points a game, but is just making the grinded out hustle plays where when the shots aren't going down, when the calls aren't going your way, those little hustle plays kind of keep you alive and keep you in the game too.
Yeah, I also think that you talked about defense winning championships. It just made me think of, again, I was talking to my brother a lot today. We could have brought in Dylan Haas for 10 for 10. We were talking for about 45 minutes about the Knicks today. They have proven at this point, and I'm not. Listen, there are 3 games to go. There's a lot of basketball.
We're a game into the series,
but they have proven that they can beat you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Whether it's scoring 140 points when they're making their threes, which when they're making them, I don't think you can beat them.
Right.
Like, they didn't shoot well. They shot 11 of 36 from 3, 31%.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's with some makes late. For a while, we were sitting on like 6 threes for quite a while. And the Spurs didn't shoot well either. They shot 11 of 43, 26%. So that you expect them to shoot better too. But when you go into those rock fights, the Knicks can win those games. Yeah. They can play defense and keep you under 100 points and hold you to 95 like they did last night and win a gritty rock fight game. Or if you want to run and you want to get into a shootout, they can do that too.
Yeah.
And offensively, the way they attack people against the Hawks and then the Sixers, there was a lot of Karl Anthony Towns was the point guy running the point. The Cavs, it didn't work as well. They did some of it. They go back to Brunson running the point, and he was getting a lot of assists in that series. it just seems they have an answer for everything that
Sure. Yeah.
teams throw at them. And I think one interesting thing is the way that they've been running so much motion, and it's a little bit harder with Wemby because
He
arms
takes
are
up
so
so
long.
much. Yeah.
So
Passing lanes are a lot more clogged up.
So like
with
one
Wemby.
guy like McHale was 3 of 6, 3 or 4 from the line. Certainly not a bad performance. I would like to see him get more involved.
Sure.
And they're gonna have to find ways to do that because running them off, it was working when he was on the bench. Running them off screens into space and trying to get them, like, it's just not going to work as well with Wemby and passing lane. So I expect there to be an adjustment from that. And that's how these series go, is adjustments.
And
that's what makes me confident about the Knicks more. And I'm never confident about my teams, is that they are so capable and have shown that they can make those adjustments.
Right.
And whatever it's going to be, okay, you're going to give us that, then we'll take this. Okay, you want to give us that, we'll take that. And they've shown it throughout that they can beat you in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. And those adjustments, especially when it comes to Wemby, you just can't simulate that sort of size in practice. You just got to deal with it and address it when you get there. So that'll also be interesting to see how, obviously Western Conference team, you guys saw them 3 times, including that NBA Cup final where it's maybe not as much as some of these other teams, not as familiar. You're a big NBA Cup guy.
I could play the soundbite, the NBA Cup. We have that somewhere, but I'm not even gonna try to find it.
But it's you get to the NBA, you get to the NBA Finals, and it's a team you're not as familiar with early in the series. The adjustments are going to be huge, and we're going to see what both teams do going into Friday night. I
also want to give a shout out to OG Anunoby, who, man, in the third quarter, I love OG. He was not good in the third quarter. He missed like 2 or 3 threes, and it was like in a row, which was also the problem. Was he missed multiple shots in a row and then airballed one from the charity stripe. He just wasn't making shots, and the offense also just looked a little discombobulated. Some of them were late in the shot clock where he just kind of had to get one up, but he just could not find it. And we needed somebody to step up, not named Brunson or Towns in that point. And to start the fourth quarter, he scored 8 points in the blink of an eye to get them. Deuce hits the corner 3 that banks in at the end of the third quarter to tie it.
Sure.
Then Anunoby gives them the lead. The Spurs come back, and then there's the Brunson run. But again, OG hit 2 threes and then had another bucket, 8 points. He ended up with 12 points in the fourth quarter. After going into the fourth quarter, he had 5 points.
Right.
But here's the other thing. Again, I could talk about the Knicks for this whole day. The Knicks have been the best fourth quarter team, not just in the playoffs, but the entire season. This has been this way. They are statistically the best team in the fourth quarter. And that's just, if you're close and it's in the fourth quarter, if you're a Knicks fan, you feel pretty good because it's, even if it's not, sometimes you feel pretty good. See the Cavs game. They just elevate their game. They lock down on defense. Brunson's executing on offense. The other guys are hitting shots. Landry Shamet, again, making threes. Deuce had a couple. Also, we're just shouting out everyone. Jose Alvarado.
Yeah.
7 points in 11 minutes, 3 of 6 shooting, 4 rebounds and assists and a steal. When Brunson got hurt, he came in and they maintained because he was playing great defense. He gave them a little bit of a spark, honestly, because they were getting a different look.
Sure.
And Brunson was struggling, especially because he was beat up. So, they just have so many guys on this team. And again, credit to Mike Brown as well for developing these guys throughout the year and making them comfortable in their roles because they have just so many guys that they can go to and say, all right, Brunson's hurt, we'll throw this. Even Mike Brown said after the game, he's like, yeah, if Brunson was hurt, I was getting ready to put Kolek in. And you know what? Tyler Kolek's a good player. He doesn't even play for this team. They're just so deep, and they utilize it very well.
Yeah, I think especially Alvarado, people have talked about, it is more physical in the NBA Finals. You may find that you're going to have to give in the second quarter. You might have to give an extra minute to Brunson on the bench just to keep him fresh and keep his legs fresh deeper into the series. So having a guy in Alvarado who you have confidence in to go to off the bench to still kind of keep things rolling and just not see a huge dip off, that's huge for the Knicks as this series gets deeper and, potential, just the grind of it kind of gets to some guys.
They also just have so much versatility where it's like, yes, Alvarado comes in as the point guard, but he might be playing with Towns, who's playing point center. He also might be
Sure.
playing with Deuce, who's played point guard in the past and is a good passer, good shooter. Deuce had 4 assists. And one of the plays that he had kind of sums up the team where I forget what quarter it was. It might have been the third quarter when they were making their run. And Deuce has a wide open 3, and he sees Shamet open in the corner, also open. Deuce could take the shot. He passes it to Shamet because you know how good Shamet's been.
Right.
Shamet drills a 3 in the corner. It's like, that's why this team is winning, because they recognize those things, and they're not just going to huck up that shot for Deuce.
Right.
He's like, you know what? This guy's shooting it better than I am right now.
Sure.
Take it. Shoot it. And listen, in terms of the Spurs, I'm sure that they're waking up and their fans are waking up saying, you know what? We only shot 36% from the field. Wemby didn't have his best game, and we only shot 26% from 3. Part of that, I think, is the way the Knicks have been playing. We're playing defense. Part of that is they miss shots. I mean, thankfully, the Knicks started guarding Champagny in the second half because they left him wide open. He hit 5 threes in the first half.
That was a much-needed adjustment.
Did not make one in the second half. And they have some tough dudes. I mean, Stephon Castle's tough winner at UConn. Like, he makes tough shots. Dylan Harper was awesome for them off the bench.
He was great.
He had 16 points off the bench on 6 of 10 shooting. He had 8 rebounds. He was making some tough shots for a rookie inside. How was Rutgers so bad with him and Ace Bailey? Can someone explain that to me? I mean, people knew that while it was happening. They're like, this team has too much talent. Why were they so bad? This guy he's like in the NBA Finals scoring 16 points. They're just terrible. They were terrible. They couldn't make the tournament with Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey.
Yeah, that's
for another time.
That's a summer topic once we're done.
By the way, shout out Harrison Barnes. He's still playing basketball. He showed up last night. I was like, oh my God, it's Harrison Barnes.
He was there for 12 minutes.
But I don't think that they have, outside of Harper, as much on the bench as the Knicks do.
Yeah.
Carter
I
Bryant,
agree with that.
Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes. Lou Cornett, fine backup center, but I don't think that they're nearly as deep. I think that's obvious. They can play younger guys more minutes, so that helps them.
Yeah.
But De'Aaron Fox is beat up. I think it's pretty clear. He was bad, 3 of 13.
Yeah.
7 points. They're going to have guys that are going to make tough shots. They're going to make more shots, but I think so will the Knicks. And if we want to get into that game.
Yeah.
The Spurs were favored in this series. And the Knicks are now obviously favored because they won game 1. I'm allowing myself to think thoughts about the Knicks, about the Knicks potentially doing things like winning a championship.
Yeah.
Listen, how could you not feel good if you're a Knicks fan?
No, you gotta feel good.
There's a lot of work to do.
You gotta feel good.
3 more games.
And the simplest fact is that the simplest thing is that when you go on the road for games 1 and 2, the goal is to take 1 of 2.
If they protect the Garden, they will win the NBA Finals. And it's like, are the Spurs capable of beating them there? Sure.
Yeah.
It's a hard place to play. Yeah. And that place is going to be electric.
People say the Garden is a tough place to play, and it absolutely is. This is going to be the toughest 3. If this game goes to 6, if this series goes to 6, it will be the toughest 3 games to play on the road at the Garden since probably 99.
I mean, get-in prices for this next game 3, are $6,000.
Oh, it's crazy.
So
it's crazy. I saw Garrett Wilson, the Jets wide receiver, paid millions of dollars talking about how he's been priced out of a Knicks ticket.
It is just such a team effort.
Yeah.
And I love the attitude of the team. There's never celebration outside of maybe celebrating individual plays, obviously. But when the game ends, they walk back to the locker room.
Yep.
I said this. We didn't get to talk about this. This was a pre-take from the NBA Finals. I don't know if I've said this to you. Probably not, honestly, because we work in different departments now. Sad. I think it was this is very Stephen A. Skip, but I think it does say something. Wemby crying when they won the Western Conference Finals, I was loving that. I was like, oh, yeah. He's celebrating like they won the NBA title.
Right.
It was unbelievable. Where the Knicks, there's a comparison video out there.
Yeah.
The Knicks won, and the first thing Karl Anthony Towns said to Jalen Brunson, you can see it on camera, was 4 more.
Yeah.
And they went up, and they held the thing, they celebrated.
Yeah.
Then when they walked out, it was like, all right, Like,
Job's
we
not
won.
done.
This is awesome, but like,
Yeah.
we need to win the game. And Jalen Brunson's constantly, job's not done, job's not done.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing about him. I meant to make this point earlier. He's just completely unfazed.
Yeah.
And you can't bother him. He just is the same guy always, win or lose. He's very people have made the comparison. He's very Derek Jeter like, where it's like he says all the right things, he gives credit to all the right people, and he just keeps it moving and keeps it focused. And he's never celebrating a win. They are just like, it's the next one, the next one, the next one. Josh Hart's been that way. And that's because these guys have won championships before. Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges and Brunson won one at Villanova. OG won one with the Raptors, even though he was hurt for parts of that. They know what it takes. They know they have the right makeup.
Yeah.
And I love to see that. Last point I'll make on the Wemby thing, it also goes hand in hand with him crying. I don't know if a lot of people have talked about this because I haven't seen it anywhere. He did an interview with Malika Andrews before the game. It was a one-on-one. And she asked him who do you want to win for? And he said, me. It's as simple as that. Now listen, everyone wants to win for themselves to some degree.
Sure.
That's a crazy response, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You need to, if you're going to say myself, my teammates, my coaches, and if you really want to be a nice guy, you throw in the fans, even though you might not. Like, if you don't think about that, fine. I'm just trying to think if Jalen Brunson was asked that question. And he said he would never say me.
No.
As simple as that. It would be.
I don't even think me would be on the list.
I don't think he would say himself. I think he would say, I want to win one for the city. I want to win one for the fans. I want to win one for my teammates and the coaches. And we've worked so hard to do this. To not even mention your teammates. Again, it's not being talked about. And it might not mean anything. I saw that too before the game, and I was like, this guy.
Yeah.
Crying after winning this. And then after the game too, he was like, I know you don't want to say we're worried, but it's like he said something that was like, oh, like, if I even just play okay, like I don't even have to play great, we'll be fine. Basically saying I didn't play that great. If we play well, it's like, okay, what if Jalen Brunson doesn't shoot 12 for 31?
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. I listen, again, I don't want to make it about me, but I like to provide insight for Knicks fans and how tough this has been. And then I add in the fact that me and my brother were laughing that by far our most successful team over my lifetime and our lifetime is the New York Mets that we root for. Oh. And that's crazy. But they did make it to the World Series in 2015. They made it to the World Series in 2000 when I was 5. They made it to the NLCS in 2007. They made it to the NLCS.
They've had a couple deep playoff runs. They
are either terrible and a disaster, or they make like a magical run. There's no in between.
True.
So the Knicks were a joke. We've already talked about that. And then the Dolphins, they haven't won a playoff game since 2000 when they beat the Colts in a 2000 wild card game, and their quarterback was Jay Fiedler. They ran the ball with Lamar Smith 40 times for 209 yards and an overtime touchdown. That was the pinnacle of the Dolphins over the last 26 years. This isn't a Dolphin show. Jeff Hafley, Sienna Grad, bring me home. Bring me to the if the Knicks can do it, anyone can do it.
Hold on. If we're saying the Knicks can do it, we're going to pivot to the Jets in football, please.
And we are going to take a quick break. Listen, miracles are possible, but that might be another level.
All right. Listen, you want to talk miracles? Jets, this was 16 years ago now, but I did see them go up to Foxborough and hand it to Tom Brady.
There you go. I was
10.
He's holding on to that one. This is now just 10. Becoming therapy for Brian and I. Go Knicks. We'll be right back. All right, bring on the Belmont.
Oh, yeah.
The Belmont Stakes in Saratoga for the third and final year.
Yeah.
And shameless plug. if you're watching this on Friday, if it's before 7 o'clock, watch our Belmont Stakes special featuring yours truly and 2 horse racing experts as we break down the Belmont Stakes. 7 p.m. on Fox 23. Thanks.
What a plug.
I'm pro. It's the Belmont. A lot of stories within this field.
Yeah.
A good field. Obviously, it kind of starts with Cherie DeVoe, Saratoga Springs native. First female trainer to ever win the Kentucky Derby. Bringing in Golden Tempo. Continuing the trend that we're seeing of skipping the Preakness, aiming for the Belmont, the second leg of the Triple Crown being the Preakness, skipping that, not going for the Triple Crown, instead opting for more rest, aiming for the Belmont. Jose Ortiz will be back aboard, 9-2 on the morning line.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not as much handicappers.
Right.
We'll tell you about what we should be keeping an eye on.
Yeah.
And I think that is the number one storyline. And I know a lot of people in Saratoga are going to be rooting for Cherie.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I think regardless of what her hometown is, she would be the main storyline. She has been the main storyline in the horse racing world for the last month, ever since that historic win in the Kentucky Derby. The fact that she is a native to Saratoga Springs and this is her hometown track and it's the third and final year that the Belmont's being run there.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And, we'll keep focused on the Belmont, but the fact that a Saratoga Springs native has such an exciting 3-year-old horse for the entire racing season at Saratoga is awesome.
100%.
I mean, listen, Golden Tempo, that was so special, and Jose Ortiz had a great ride in the Kentucky Derby, and she's talked about he's going to have to do it again. He's going to have to time the run well again, and it's Golden Tempo is. That's where most people's eyes are going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, and you're looking for that late run, which is always exciting because you never know.
Right.
You're waiting the whole time. You know it's not going to be early, so you're waiting. Like, is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? It's been a crazy time for her, and I asked her, oh my God, what's this like? You win the Kentucky Derby, and you're all. I mean, she was all over every major news outlet, sports news outlet, doing interviews, all of this, getting all this attention, which is so well deserved. And then you have to turn around and get a horse ready for the Belmont. And she said, and manage a horse, a barn of like 120 horses. So it's like there's so much on trainers' plates that we don't necessarily see. You think of like the big horses, maybe 4 or 5. No, there's like 120 horses that she has to run a barn for.
You can go down the list of like each of the trainers in this race, and we haven't counted up. They're probably going to have 3 or 4 more entries at least on Saturday alone. Yeah. Same thing every day this week.
Yeah. Some other things to keep an eye on. Renegade comes in as the favorite.
Yeah.
Was one of the favorites by the time the race began for the Kentucky Derby. Renegade trained by Todd Pletcher with Rod Ortiz, Jose's brother.
Yeah.
And obviously
just edged out
by Golden Tempo the first time around. So that is a rematch there, and 2-1 on the morning line is one of 2 Todd Pletcher horses. He also has Power Shift, the 2 at 12-1. So Todd will make another bid for the Belmont. In terms of local trainers, you also have Chad Brown, Mechanicville native. He's got 3 entries in this race. It is the 5, Otinho. The 6th, which is Growth Equity. Emerging Market is the 8.
Yeah.
I'm doing this just off top of the head.
There you go. This is a guy who was putting it in the memory bank.
I almost combined Emerging Market and Growth Equity.
What'd you go, Growth Market?
I don't know what I would have went with. Growth Emerging, I don't know.
Emerging Equity?
Emerging Growth. Growth Equity. And then Emerging Market, which is his best shot according to the odds makers at 6-1.
Yep.
Growth Equity was 12-1 on the morning line, and Otinho was 20-1 on the morning line.
Dylan Davis, Saratoga native, aboard.
Yes, on Otinho, so you have an added local connection there, which is really cool to see. Dylan's been had such a great summer last year, so that'll be a long shot for some people to root for. Flavian Pratt is aboard Emerging Market.
Yep.
Obviously, we know what he's capable of, so you get a great jockey there. And then you get the Belmont, Jose Alvarado combination, or Junior Alvarado.
Junior Alvarado, yeah.
Jose Alvarado is the Knicks' backup point guard.
Yes, he is.
Listen.
Folks, if you can't
You
tell
have
where
to forgive
Griffin's
me.
mind is,
You have to forgive me because
This
everything I think about is related to
rightfully
either my wonderful fiance or the New York Knicks.
There you go.
That's a good catch.
Well done.
So Jose Alvarado is the backup point guard
Yeah, there
for the
you
New
go.
York Knicks. I was making the point.
Okay.
Junior Alvarado is the jockey that won the Belmont last year.
I won the Belmont, the Derby, the Jim Dandy, and the Travers.
And the Travers. Sovereignty. What a horse.
What a year, man.
So Belmont, Junior Alvarado, we've seen what they can do, not only just last year, but they've been a great connection, throughout the years.
Yeah.
And you get Chief Wallaby here at 3-1, who's, the second choice. And they'll be in striking distance again. And Belmont will be looking to go back-to-back, which I believe, I don't have the exact number in front of me. But it has been a long, long time. I'm looking at it right now. Why don't you talk a little bit about, so we also have Commandment, Brad Cox. 6-1.
Yep. Out of
and then
what,
we also
7?
have,
yeah.
Yes. And then Vitruvian Man, the 30-1, as me and Brian and I do research about how long it's
Griffin,
been.
you do the active you do the active research.
Okay. Dwayne Lucas, done. 95, 96.
So
I was born in 1995.
It's been 30 years.
It's been 30 years since 1996, since there was the repeat.
Yeah.
Just double checking that. Yes. So that is not easy to do.
No.
It's very hard to do.
Yeah.
But if there's anybody that could do it, Belmont and Junior Alvarado.
Yeah. They know what it takes for sure.
Vitruvian Man, 30-1. Long shot.
A little bit of a long shot out of post 1.
And Brad Cox always gets, his horses are always ready, and that would be one where you got to keep your eye on because, 6-1, good price. And again, his horses are always ready to go. So it's going to be exciting. I know Tommy will be there on Saturday for Belmont Day. You will be doing some championship stuff, which we will talk about.
I got the high school route
at the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to 10 for 10. And we go to the NFL now, where a huge day of trades a couple days ago.
Yeah, my goodness.
And I think it will usually be known as the Myles Garrett trade to many, obviously, because Myles Garrett is coming off of setting the sack record and is a future Hall of Famer, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
And just simply one of the best players in football going to the Rams, who are already one of these NFL, the favorites.
Yeah, they were in the NFC Championship game last year.
But locally, the big news is Jared Verse, who was a UAlbany standout, who ended up transferring to Florida State later in his career. I think Jared Verse was on the first UAlbany football team that I covered, and I remember being like, "Who is that guy?" So he goes to Florida State. Drafted by the Rams, a rookie of the year, who then, has been a huge part of that Rams defense.
2-time Pro Bowler in 2 years.
So it's Verse, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick, and a third-round pick to the Browns for Myles Garrett. And I think it's one of those trades you look at and you're like, yeah, this probably works for both teams.
Yeah.
The Rams get Myles Garrett, who is, again, the best defensive player in football.
Yeah.
And they might be getting Aaron Donald out of retirement, so good luck trying to block Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett.
That's scary. That's a scary prospect.
For the Browns, you get Jared Verse, who is, I mean, one of the next young great pass rushers, in my opinion, which is really cool to say, given the fact that he's from UAlbany.
Yeah. And also a guy who last year's spring game came back to be at UAlbany.
Yeah, was at UAlbany and
like
was,
that's
was
really
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he had 4.5 sacks his first year, up to 7.5 in year 2. Like, I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And, forced 3 fumbles last year as well. And for him to be a big piece in that, I think says a lot about how well he's respected in terms of his talent.
Yes.
So if you're the Browns, you get the young, you don't have to pay Myles Garrett anymore. You get the young version, not necessarily of Myles Garrett, but you get a young pass rusher to fill the void immediately, who's going to impact the team immediately this year. And you get a first-round pick next year, which will be late in the first round, most likely.
Probably.
But then 2028 second-round pick, like, who knows if Stafford's still playing, 2029 third-round pick. You get 3 really good picks as well as you fill the need at edge rusher. I think it's kind of a no-brainer for both teams.
Yeah, I think from the Browns' perspective, it's, you know what, at a certain point, who's a team that's going to pay the price? Because if you told me that they got a player and multiple first-round picks, I would be like, yeah, all right, it's Myles Garrett. This is a good trade. This is a fair, equitable trade. And I think the Rams are the team to do it. They've proven over the years, especially now that they have Ty Simpson. They have their quarterback to follow, Stafford. They're a team who's going to spend their picks on getting pro-ready guys, superstars. They've done it in the past. It's worked in the past. I think it makes sense for both teams. And I think, for Verse, it's obviously, listen, the Browns are not on the same level as the Rams in terms of the quality of the team, but it's a new start for the Browns. And I think it's a place where Jared Verse can shine, especially in that position. Myles Garrett has proven that you can shine as a defensive end in Cleveland, and I think it's a good chance for Jared Verse to do just that.
We're going to wrap up here because we are heavy. But Jared Verse also born in Dayton, Ohio. So a little bit of a homecoming there. So we're going to wish we wish Jared Verse all the best. He's been, awesome with us, and he's been a great guy, and cool to see his rise from UAlbany.
Yeah.
We'll hit this one quickly, even though it was a huge trade. A.J. Brown, going to the Patriots, Eagles wide receiver. Seems like it was over for him in Philly for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Just
you kind of knew he was going to get traded. The Patriots were kind of the consensus expected destination.
And it just seems like the Eagles had no choice here. Yeah. And to get a first-round pick for him, even though it's in 2028, I think is a pretty good number. Yeah. And you get a 5th. I think it's a good number. And for the Patriots, you got a clear number 1 receiver, which they needed.
Yeah.
And they didn't really necessarily have last year in making it to the Super Bowl, so I think this improves their team greatly. And if you're worried about A.J. Brown being a problem in the locker room, I don't think you have to, because he played in Tennessee for Mike Vrabel.
Yeah. And
the viral clip of Vrabel when he got traded from Tennessee to Philly, he was very, very angry, visibly angry. He's talked about his respect for him, and I didn't really understand. Like, he was obviously Vrabel's very tough, but now he kind of gets it and why he has to be such a disciplinarian. So I think it's just, again, kind of a no-brainer for both sides.
Yeah, I think it's a good landing spot for A.J. Brown. It's, you're back with a coach who he respects, and, a guy in Vrabel who has found success in the NFL. And, I think for the Patriots, you get Drake May, a guy who is continually building himself up into one of the best quarterbacks in the league and was runner-up in MVP voting without a number 1 receiver. Now you get that number 1 receiver, and you can continue to build forward. A lot of times you can see teams who reach the Super Bowl but lose. Sometimes they take a step back. I don't think that's going to be the case with the Patriots this year. They seem to continue to get better.
And then we will finish up the NFL with the New York Giants. And they sign a host of veteran wide receivers.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, who played for offensive coordinator Matt Nagy with the Chiefs. Braxton Berrios, who I think not only can be a slot guy, but can impact the return game.
Sure.
But the big one's Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah.
Back.
That's the one that everyone's excited about.
And Odell has not played since 2024. Played for Miami, and he had 9 catches in 9 games. Listen, I don't know how much Odell has left in the tank. He had 500 yards for the Ravens in 2023. Obviously, I mean, he had 4,000 yard season with the Giants. He was so good for them before things kind of went south, and he got traded for the Browns. So I think a lot of Giants fans will be hoping he makes the team. And listen, Neighbors is clearly the number one, and they got Darnell Mooney, who will be on the outside. But when you have a room with Slayton, who's been beat up in the past, and Isaiah Hodgson, Calvin Austin will surely be on the team. So there's going to be maybe two of those three make it.
Yeah.
They're not all three going to make it.
Yeah.
The other thing is Barrios will probably play special teams like I mentioned before. I don't think Odell is going to be doing much of that. So
no, probably
we'll
not.
see if he makes it. But exciting that the possibility to see Odell Beckham Jr. in a Giants uniform.
I think exciting. I think it's good for the Giants to bring in some veteran wide receivers to work with Dart and work with Neighbors, and a team that's still very young. You bring in some guys with a little more experience who can kind of help them, especially in a new offense. Right, this is a guy who played for Harbaugh in Baltimore for a short stint, but was still there.
Yep.
And I think at the very least, Giants fans have got to be excited. This might be the most packed preseason game you'll see this season.
Yeah.
Is whatever their home opener in the preseason is, seeing Odell in a Giants uniform at MetLife Stadium again for the first time. It's got to be exciting. I know I have friends who are Giants fans. I'm sure you do too. They are over the moon just at the prospect that this guy is back in blue.
We're going to take a quick break. Baseball next. It is a speed round of baseball.
All right.
We got to run through these topics. We're running heavy. We'll start with the Red Sox, mainly because Tommy Kahnle, Shaker grad, had been in Worcester for quite a while. They had to either release him or move him to the major league team.
Yep.
He does get moved up today, Thursday, and goes 2 scoreless innings in an 8-2 loss.
Yeah.
Nice to see Tommy Kahnle on the mound. I'll cover the Tommy Kahnle. You cover the Red Sox portion of it because, they won 2 or 3 from Cleveland.
They did. They took 2 or 3 from Cleveland,
and
then they
dropped 2
and then they were the Red
Reds.
Sox again.
Yeah.
Disappointing, but you glad to take 2 or 3 from the Gardos, who are a good team, but the Red Sox continue to struggle at Fenway Park. They are 10-21 at home, which is just
inexcusable,
terrible.
And you can't have IKF being like, we have too many distractions at home. That's crazy.
Like that. Listen, I know they're a young team, but there are veterans in this locker room. If that is the case, we got to get something going. Offense has been a little bit better, but I mean, today, Thursday, Brian Bayo continues to be terrible when he starts. When he comes out, when they use the opener, he's been wonderful.
The old David Peterson.
But the problem is the openers stink. Yeah. The openers give up 3 or 4 runs in the first inning, and then Brian Bayo comes in and throws 7 scoreless.
The openers.
But Bayo, 6 runs in the first inning. You're just continuing the trend of this season of just scratching your head. Good to see Tommy Kahnle come up and throw 2 scoreless. Always good to have an extra bullpen arm. Love that he's a local guy. It's on to the Bronx, and I desperately need it to go better than the last time they played the Yankees.
And we are on to the Bronx. Great transition, Brian. The Yankees, after their demolishing of the Royals, they win the Athletic Series.
Yes.
The team without a name or a first name, they then lose at home to the Guardians. They drop 2 of 3. But the big news really is Aaron Judge. He's missed his 3rd straight game.
Yeah.
As he awaits clarity about a bone bruise on one of his ribs. It's causing right shoulder pain. They're trying to rule out thoracic outlet syndrome, which would not be good. He underwent a CAT scan on Thursday morning, which is today, and had an MRI earlier in the week. They're just trying to get clarity on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem too bad in terms of hopefully long term. But he did have a stress fracture in one of his right ribs in 2020. So, listen, you never want him out for any length of time, and especially when you're playing the Red Sox in games that always matter.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the biggest thing for the Yankees that we could really talk about right now is just getting him back.
Yeah, I think so, and I think if you're a Yankees fan, you're crossing your fingers that it's not long term because, we talk about this team's going to be in the postseason, but we've also talked about they got to set themselves up well, so they got to have a strong regular season. He's got to be healthy.
We got to move on to the Mets. They swept the Marlins after being swept by the Marlins, so at least they righted that wrong. Then they dropped 2 of 3 to the Mariners. They did salvage the third game. If you're watching again on Friday, they're playing Thursday night. We don't know the results of that game, game 1 against the Padres. And yeah, it's like, hey, listen, the Mariners are playing. They played a good series. The Mets went against some tough pitching. They're just kind of scuffling. It is what it is. The Mariners are good. They're kind of turning that corner now where they're now the above 500 team in the AL West.
That we expected them to be.
They are now playing well. The Mets ran into them at a wrong time on the road, West Coast, tough series. Try to bounce back in San Diego. They remain in the basement in the AL East or the NL East, so you're trying to crawl out of that. But again, you're in it all season long, 6 games back of the wild card. Not that we're looking at that yet. Long year. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And listen, I mean, the Firebirds have established themselves over the past 2 years as the best team in the AF1, and that just continues. And there has not been anybody that can really challenge that.
Yeah, no, I mean, unbeaten season last year on their way to a championship. Unbeaten again. Sam Castronova picking up right where he left off when he rejoined the Firebirds. I mean,
they beat the Bombers this past weekend 69-33.
Largest point differential of the season. I mean, they're just getting better as the weeks go by.
Yeah, most points scored.
Yeah.
The most points scored all year as well. And this week tonight, if you're watching this again on Friday, they play the Belmont Renegades, who they already beat this year 55-27.
Yeah.
Belmont only has 2 wins. So a really good chance at home at MVP Arena if you want to go check out a game to, really just keep it rolling, move to 8-0. Then they get Michigan at home.
If you want to see an Albany team put up a lot of points,
that's them.
That would be the Firebirds.
And then what will be interesting is they end the year at these 2 home games with Nashville, 2 games against Nashville, and 1 game against the Kentucky Barrels, who they did beat up, but they've only lost twice this year, and Nashville's in second right now in 5-1.
Yeah.
So that
team they played in the championship last year.
That ending stretch will be probably if they were to drop one in the regular season, that would be the stretch to look at.
Sure.
But I wouldn't bet on it. This team
neither
is
would I.
Not just. I mean, they have had 1 close game on the road against Michigan. I mean, I guess you could say their game over the Wolfpack was close, but since they've got Castronova back. That was really the only close game they had, and it was a road game. Everyone's due for one of those.
Sure.
So, Firebirds looking to stay unbeaten. Yep. We are going to end things with Section 2. A lot of state champions crowned.
Section champions crowned.
Section champions. Did I say state champions?
Yes, you did.
I was getting to states. I'm thinking about the Knicks. I'm getting to states is this week. That's what we have next.
Yep.
So my brain was split. We have states coming up. Section 2 champions crowned, and you guys did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you, sir.
My first time watching from the sideline.
We certainly missed you.
And thank you for that. I missed you too.
No, yeah, listen. a lot of great championship games, a lot of good ones.
It's hard to recap all of them. There's so many. There was 10 on Saturday.
I got assigned to a bunch at the Joe. The baseball was fantastic. There were some good softball games. Lacrosse was great too. Pretty much everything was fantastic. So now it's on to the regional round, and we'll see who punches their ticket to the state Final Four.
And stay with us because there's nobody who does it up like the News 10 Sports Department, and they finally got rid of that Griffin guy. We just won 10 for 10.
Yes, sir.
See you next week.